Okay, everybody, I have some very, very important information to give out here that you need to hear about. Now, today, you have one extra day to work on your projects. Get your presentations finished. Get what you're using to read off of for your speech finished. Okay? So, in taking the written portion and then finding and then, turning it into something else, and that's what you're going to use for your speech. So that's going to be separate from the written portion, which you've already turned it into me. Okay? And we didn't use the turnitin.com, because obviously you were talking from your own self and plagiarism. So, you have a lot of work to do today. It is crunch time because it is due today. And I've decided that we would push it a little bit later. That tomorrow you're going to be going up to the Midget headquarters. And you're going to be sitting in that room, remember. We're going to be sitting in that mini, medium, big auditorium. And there's going to be a lot of different rows of seats, and you're going to be going up to a podium, and you're going to be presenting. Okay, you're going to be, having your presentation projected. So what you need is to bring your laptops so that you can share it onto that big screen. And you need a little controller, and that's what you're going to use to flip back and forth your presentation, because it should all be done by tomorrow. So here's how it's going to work. We're not going to do it today because I thought that I would go easy on you. So tomorrow, you need to have your object with you. It is mandatory that you have it with you, because I really don't see the point of all of this if you do not have that object. If you can't find it, then you need to find it. And I'm serious about this. You could have nothing else, but you need to have your object, because that's what this whole thing is going to be about, okay? Because here's how it's going to work. Again, any object, especially if it encompasses the Taurian interests, art, food, music, nature, plants, all those types of things. If it's a cat that you have, if it's like an alive object, then what we'll do is we'll find some place for you to put that at, like in a little cage or something at, like, another part of the bus, because there's a part of, the very, very back of the bus that has a bathroom, a waste can, and it has a little storage area. Okay, so that storage area is what you are putting your object, your painting, your plant, or whatever it is. But if it's one of those alive objects like a plant, then we will find a place to keep it in good shape. That way when the bus is moving, it won't rattle around, and then something will happen where it won't tip over, or it won't, if it's a cat, it won't run away, or, so you need to keep track of it. You are responsible for your object. Okay, you will not, be treating it badly. You won't be, just throwing it or, losing it. Because I didn't want to have to keep track of 1,000,000 of those. And you also need your germ killers. Remember that the germ killer is a little, it's like just a little bottle that's white, that when you pour it on your fingers, it looks like sunblock. It's like a white, like it has kind of that soapy sunblock consistency. So you put just a little dot in your fingers, you rub it around, okay, you rub it on wherever your body is naked, you rub it on your face, okay, wherever you're going and whatever interaction that you have, so that we do not spread COVID, because we don't want to do that. So we are taking advantage of these things, and I'm going to trust all of you that you have your germ killers with you. So the things that you need, I'll go over them once again. Your object is number 1. Your laptop, number 2, and you need to have your presentation probably loaded on on a tab already, because I don't know if you can. Um, it. I think it should be the same internet, so you can put it on your computer there. You need to have your laptop fully charged, or charged enough where it would run. Okay, because that's the expectation tomorrow. Okay, then you need to have what you're using to present your speech with. You don't need your written portion. If you're using your written portion to present, then bring it. But if you are using your note cards or whatever, and I'd preferably require you to, to do something besides your written portion. But you can do that, that's fine. If it's easier for you, if it's better structured for you, then that's fine. You can have speaker notes on your presentation. Remember, you can use any presentation that's easy for you. Keynote, PowerPoint, Google Slides, whatever it is. It's open-ended. I don't want to have you do a specific technology that you might have the ability to do another that's easier for you, and I'm requiring you to do a specific one. I just believe in it. Do whatever you feel comfortable. And remember, I'm not telling you how to structure your thing. Well, I am. I'm giving you the basic format of it, but you can, you can put it in whatever order that you want to. Okay? Maybe you can add in some things that I didn't tell you to add in. Surprise me. It's your project. You do what you want to do. Because if you did the same formula, then it would be, like, we want some variety. We want it to be different. We want it to be what you uniquely want to do. Okay, so this is very yourself and very personal. So your note cards, your laptop, your object. Here's how it's going to work. On the buses, there's going to be several buses, okay? And a couple of the answers said that they would do a project, but they just wouldn't do the all the steps that we're taking to do, because they came in a little bit later. So they might not do a presentation, but I did tell them, make note cards, and I did give them the basic structures of how it's going to look, So, and then, bring in objects. So some of them are going to be doing that. So, I just want to go over a couple of things. So remember, one part of it is the introduction, another part of it is talking about just the basic origins and history of gist of what the object is, and you can take it into further details, whatever you want. Another part of it is your story, how you came to get the object, when was your first time, having it or eating it. If it's a dish, then they will cook it up there, and they will serve it fresh, and you will take that dish up there. Which will be in a cafeteria if it's a dish, whatever it is. There'll be special arrangements for that. So then you need a paragraph. So then you need to talk about, I'm not telling you in what order, but these are the things. So one of those things is basic gist of what it is, your story of it, and why you love it so much. Why is it your own pleasure? Why is it your central pleasure? Those are the basic things. I've kept it pretty general, but you can make a whole nother portion of a thing that you think would sound good. But all of those three things I want to see in there. Okay, so you can, you can just at least do that. You can go further in depth. That's amazing if you want to take that route, but you don't have to. But you need those three things, and then you need a conclusion. And you already did that with your topic sentence and your legacy statement. Okay? So, bus. All your things will be either kept under the bus. So, the buses are, the school, the yellow and black buses, underneath the bus, at like the bottom sides of it, the rectangular sides, there's a little doorway that opens up. and underneath, you can put all of your stuff in it. You can put your, and that's where all of the objects are going to go. Some of them, at least. It depends on what they are, because some of them, just may fall around or, get broken, and you don't want to be embellished. You don't want to just, have your expectations go away and be disappointed at presenting something that doesn't look exactly perfect. So if it's a plant, it will probably be kept somewhere else. But if it's like I don't know, if it's a painting that's been dried and painted for many, many years, we'll probably put it, maybe put it somewhere else. But it just depends on what it is. There is also on the bus, above your seats, just like they have in a plane, above where you're sitting is little slots on the sides of the bus where you can put objects as well. And in the back, I already told you about that little storage area. Okay, so when we get there, I'm actually back to the bus. You're going to have chaperones. I'm going to be on one of the buses. Abby will be on another one. Okay, Kathy will be on the third one. Jill will be on the fourth. And there'll be 5 buses in total, because there's so many of you, and not all of you are here, because I'm not only talking to you all, but some of them are watching it from the screen overhead, over here, because they can't be here, because there was, too many of you in one room, and there's not enough room, and we don't want to spread anything. So you need your germ killers. So germ killers, object, computer, speech notes, so note cards. Those are all the things that you need. So then the rest of the bus, then the rest of the buses will be, the 5th bus will, will go all of the dance moms. And actually, I'm going to change something right off the bat. I'm going to be riding with Kathy on one of those buses. And then Jill and Melissa will be riding on another bus. And then, I don't know the numbers or anything, so we'll just have to find out. And then Abby, Abby, Christy, and Kelly will be riding on another bus, and then Holly will be riding on the other bus. So that's how it's going to work. And what's going to happen is those are the chaperones for the buses. But I have Menton staff from all over that will take their vans and their cars, and they will go up there. But that's as many chaperones as we need for all of you. So there will be 1 or 2 chaperones on, or 3 chaperones on a bus. So, and some of my staff will go in their cars and their, vans or whatever up to the Minton headquarters building. There is going to be a ton of people. A ton. Because remember that, I'm going to, use her words when I say that it is my reputation. Okay? I don't want you to humiliate me. I don't want you to embarrass me. I want you to be on your best behavior. I want you to go in confident and feeling great and focused and ready to present. And I want you to feel very passionate about what you're talking about. Before you go on and when you're going on, put your heart into it. Okay? Because, no pressure or anything, but there's going to be a ton of people. So, my Minton, Mrs. Gross' Minton, Mrs. Bellbrook's Minton, Mrs. Tenson's Minton, and Mrs. Grooney's and Mrs. Shoop's Minton. I found out that Mrs. Shoop's Minton was coming. So, those are all of the Mintons that are going to be there. The rest are far, far away, and they are not being influenced by, by the astrology, and they're not going to show up. Well, here's the thing: they will show up, but their days were actually, the last 3 days is when every other Amenton showed up. Because we can't have, there's too many Amentons, there's too many people show up at one time. Corona, and, too much people for, if we look at all of them, too little space. So that's as much as we can hold. So there will be about 2 to maybe a third Amenton, and half of that Amenton, by day of what, who's going to be presenting or whatnot. So when we get there, we're going to be lining up. We're going to be lining up into lines, okay? Outside our buses, and my chaperones and I will be going and taking attendance to make sure everybody is there. And then what's going to happen is you and your group is going to be, going in individually and stay together with the group, because there's going to be a lot of people in the hallway, and you're going to get lost, and you're going to be just overwhelmed. It's going to be crazy. But when you get in there, the very first thing that you're going to do is you're going to be, what's going to happen is you're going to be, there's going to be a little storage room. You have your own, like, what's called a dressing room, okay, at the dance competitions. That is going to be the place where you're going to, after you get off the bus, I'm going to have people that will be there, and there are people already there at the Dimension headquarters, those guards, to help you carry everything in, so that you don't have to, you don't have to lug everything in. So they're going to be right there. You can go up to them, and I will probably go around and be assigning you all, and so go the other chaperones, your helper person. You're going to take all of that into the room. Okay, you're going to take all of that into the dressing room. Then you're going to, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. Or maybe have a snack, or, because there'll be 4 breaks in between, because there's so many presentations. You need your energy up. You need, to keep you going. But most likely, I'm not 100%. However, this is what I know. Most likely, don't expect going to the restroom immediately when you come in. So make sure you go and take care of your body and get things to occupy you. Watch Dance Moms Play Asphalt or something on the way there. Because when you go there, you'll set everything down. You'll go into the big room. And then when it's time for all of you to get ready to present, you're going to go into your dressing room. You're going to grab your objects and your laptops and what you're using, and you're going to file in, and you're going to sit in the seats closest to the podium. And they'll give you like an intermission time to be able to do that, and they'll call you up one by one. You'll present your presentations in front of everybody, and then after, when that is done, because there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of presentations, okay? So we're not going to do all of the Amentons in one day. After all of one Amenton goes, we're going to be having a snack and drink and bathroom break, which is going to be maybe half an hour, 20 to 15 minutes or so, somewhere around there. Then you're going to go back in, and you're going to be witnessing another Amenton and what they have to do. There's going to be another break, and then so on and so on. And then what's going to happen is at the end of that day, after all of the Amentons are done, you're going to be one of the first ones up there, so that you're fresh and you're good to go and you're not tired of sitting there, okay? And Julia Eskin Rules and Minton will be going before you. Okay? So you can see how it looks and everything. So you're the second ones up. So she is also pushing hers to the 21st, which is tomorrow of May. Okay? So what's going to happen is after everything is done, after all the Mentons are done presenting, and after you're done with your presentations and everything, and may I mention as well that they're going to be serving lunch there, okay? They're going to be cooking up, like it's going to be a buffet, and I don't know even what they're cooking. But there's going to be, it's like a cafeteria where you're going to be, lining up with the tray and the buffet set up, and get your forks and get your spoons and get your drink and sit down and eat, that kind of thing. Lunch will probably be 12 o'clock to 12:45 or 1 o'clock. So it'll be an hour lunch, and I think that's plenty of time, maybe even more time than you need. So that's when it's going to be. So I think there'll be 1 to 2 in the morning, or depending on how big their Minton sizes and how long the presentations are, maybe 1 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. I don't know. I don't know how it's structurally going to work, but this is what I know, so that I am telling you. So after it's all done, it's going to be ending around close to 4 or close to 3:30, 3:45, somewhere around there. I don't know. Whenever it's done, whenever the last dimensions, there's going to be 2 to 3 dimensions per day. After that last dimension is done, you're going to be taking all your stuff, of which you're going to be putting all of that back in your dressing room after you're all done presenting. After it's all done, you're going to go into the dressing room, pick it all up, and your person's going to help you, and you're going to take all of that, into another room. And in that room, it's a huge room. It's expansive. And it's about the same size, and maybe just a little bit more rectangular shaped. And there was going to be 1,000 white, those tables, 1,000 white tables. And those tables are going to be your station. Okay, and that station, you're going to put your, you're going to be putting, you're going, I said lug all your stuff. You don't need your computer. You don't need your speaker notes. Leave all that. You don't need it. It's just extra off your back and things that you don't even need. So, forget about that, but you need to bring your objects there. Now, here is the special news. Now, Alton Brown and Jada De Laurentiis from Food Network Star and the Food Network are here today. They are going to be coming later today, and they're going to be sitting down with a collection of you at one time, because there's so many of you can't do individually, and talk through with you, get to know you. Obviously, we're going to have some social time, obviously. Then what's going to happen is they're going to get right to why they came, talking to a collection of you, 4 to 5 or 6 or however many of you, and it won't be anything precise, and they'll just go around from one group to the next. So you're going to be having to pair in groups of 4 to 5 to 3 people, okay, maybe 6, okay, but that's the limit of people that you're going to be with today. And they are going to be going around, and you're going to be talking through them about what you're doing for your presentation, what your presentation is going to look like, because they're going to look at that, what your object is. You're going to take them through your written portion. You're going to take them through how you're going to present it, because all of your stuff has to mostly be done by when they come. The pressure is on. So you have this morning to work on it, including your note cards. So they'll be talking about you and giving tips and their expertise on presenting and selling the object. Because when you're up there, you need to sell it, because it's gonna come back when you have to. You do it on the get to next. So they're gonna tell you how to sell it, how to persuade people into buying it, how to be entertaining, how to present and get the audience attention, and how to be informative and give them good points, all that they have to say about what you're doing specifically for your projects. Okay? So reason being is that on the Food Network Stars show, sometimes they have live performances in front of an audience, which is what you're going to be doing. And, for example, in Season 9, Episode 2, they had like a burger bash, where they were standing up and they were demoing their burger. And they were saying, why it was so good, taking through all the informative, cooking points, and being funny and fun and entertaining and all that jazz. So, they were, what they were doing was they had the Dials of Doom, which, I don't know if they have those, but if they do, they'll bring them. Remember, one side is green, they like you, the other side, in a range of liking, disliking, the other side red to the left, they dislike you. So, so let's see. So you're talking through, what you're doing. So as I was saying with the live presentation, so after they were done presenting, then they would go over to the little stations and they would have a little bottle with red tokens, like they were a little coin shaped. And so people would have 3 to 2 tokens that they would come up to that person or several people's station that they wanted to eat their food the best, that they were most interested in, and yada yada yada. So, then they would be serving up the hamburgers and giving them to them, and then the judges would be critiquing their food and trying every one of them, because they were the judges, obviously. That is something that is going to happen. Bonus, the Antiques Roadshow people will be coming to this show and tell day, all of the 3 days, and they're going to change. There's going to be new people every day, and they're going to be going around to your stations, and they're going to be asking you about your presentations, about your project, about your object or objects. And they're going to be asking you probably the same questions as your presentation, what it is, your story of it, and then how you came to, why you love it so much, and really a one-on-one talking with you, getting to know you. And it's a really, really, really hugely important occasion that you don't know, how big it is. So they will be with you, and you're going to be talking to them about it. They're going to be going around to every one of your stations. You're at the table, you're going to be behind the table with a collection of those objects, because I said to you earlier that they have the ability to clone, your objects, make copies and copies and copies and copies of it, so that, or however many you have, it's a small collection, then, so that everyone can buy it. So you might just have 1, or you might have 2, but they will put that object through a cloning machine. Let me back up. Okay, so after you're done with everything, after all the inventions are done, you're going to have a little break, an eating, snack, drinking break. Then, you're going to be going over to your dressing room, you're going to be picking up your object, and then you're going to go into a huge room where they have all these cloning machines. I know the same as what I have. Put it in, press a button, 2 seconds later, unharmed it, body, mind, then copies it over and over and over again. And if there's a long line at your station, for example, if there's like a lot of people and if you don't have enough, take one free object left that you have and go back into that room, and they'll direct you of where things are and everything, and take it into the room, put it in the machine, and then they will give you a bag or they will give you a box to put all of those copies in. Bring it out, put it on your table, sell them, give them away, and maybe get to know the customers, get to know all of the Mentons, and really have a good time. Give them away and talk to them. It's also imperative with this that you really get to know and get to talk to and get to socialize with all of the Mentons, including all of the Menton leaders, and Julie Eskenroll herself, which she is the queen of the Mentons. She is the leader of all of the Mentons. So you'll definitely get to have long conversations, and all of them will go around to every station and try them. And she'll be going around every station, so you should have plenty of great interaction, conversation with everybody. Then what's going to happen? You'll be leaving. We'll be going home. There'll be maybe a couple hour or so before we get dinner on, and then so on. Okay, so that's how it's going to work. Now, here's what's going to happen today. This is how it's going to work. Now, I want to see how you all are doing on everything. So, do all of you know your objects is, and you have your object at home? How many of you have your object here? Okay. How many of you have your object at home? We need to grab it and bring it tomorrow. Okay? But I just want it stopped to your house. How many of you, let's see, have germ killers? Okay, for those of you who don't, you need to grab them on the way there. So how many of you are done with your presentations? Okay, done with note cards if you're doing them. Done with your speaker notes on papers if you're doing them. Okay, how many of you have speaker notes on your presentation? Preferably Google Slides. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. This morning is the very, very last amount of time that you have to work on everything, get everything done. Because Giada De Laurentiis and Alton Brown, Giada De Laurentiis, Giada at home, Giada's Italy, born on the cusp, August 22nd of Leo and Virgo. You should all know who she is. She'll be coming, and Alton Brown, Cutthroat Kitchen, and Iron Chef, America, and name it. On Food Network Star, a couple seasons as well. He will be